All right, everybody, welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Banter Evans, and it's 2024. Justin, so what are we going to do today?
Keeping up with the new, and so new to our market, which is, it's not brand new, it's been out for a little while, but not a lot of people know about it, so we're going to do the Forbidden video.
The Forbidden video, yep. So what we have here is Forbidden, and we'd like to thank...
Oh yeah, Savannah Distributors is the one that distributed this in our area, so thank you to them for letting us do this video and allowing us to take the sample bottle and let everybody know that, hey, this is something that you might want to look for on the shelves if you're interested in trying new stuff in the market and looking for that next new bourbon that's possibly hitting. Now, this was, I think, originally Kentucky, Tennessee, and now it is in Georgia officially, and I've seen it in a couple of stores now being out in the market, so we know that it is on the shelves. So if you guys see this, and you're, if you, please like and subscribe. But if you see this and you're interested in trying, we'll talk a little bit about it and go over a little bit of information just to notify everybody that it's here.
Yeah, definitely. And so he's already said like and subscribe. Please do that. And Justin, what kind of socks are we wearing today?
You know what? I do have bourbon socks on this time.
Yes, you do.
And if you do a little bit of the research online, it says Castle and Key and Bardstown Bourbon Company, right?
Yes, it does.
Guess what my socks are?
The good old Bardstown.
Bardstown Bourbon Company
yes,
socks.
Indeed.
So I forgot that and it got called out. Thank you guys for paying attention that I did not mention that. So that was nice of you.
Yeah, we try to keep it even throughout and everything. But I do like what you said here. So this is a combination of Bardstown Bourbon Company and
Castle and Key.
Yep.
And so two awesome places to visit if you're in Kentucky and doing the trail.
Yeah.
Amazing. Both stops. Absolutely incredible. And so we all know that this is, well, in case you guys don't know, Marianne Eves, which is Kentucky's first female master distiller. Yep. And, she got her start off at Brown-Forman, then Castle and Key, and then she did Sweetens Cove, and now doing Forbidden and things like that. Yep. And so obviously she's got a good track record, been in the industry for a while. She was even on that video Neat.
Yeah. Yep.
So they talked to her. She was one of the main people that I talked about.
She was, yeah.
And she did Castle and Key, and we all know that Castle and Key's been out, and some of the products that they're sitting on the shelves as well, if you guys want to look for that. So, and Bardstown Bourbon Company, which we are also, fans of, is also on the shelves available. So now it's kind of like a marriage, a blend of 5-year.
Yeah, definitely. And so what I like here is we have a single barrel, and we have a small batch.
Yes, and so what I did notice is that most people were talking about the small batch as far as if you do your research online and different sites, and then there is a Forbidden actual website and that we got some of the information from, but also that's where it it's talking about the single barrel. So in some markets, I'm guessing the single barrel might not be available. This particular barrel of this one is 116 proof.
Yeah, it's I'll tell you what, it's up. I mean, that's pretty impressive for 116. So
yeah, and it doesn't drink like 116. We know that. So we will add it. And, obviously what's in your glass as well when you join in.
Definitely.
Hopefully, maybe if you find it interesting enough and in your wallet enough to buy these higher end Forbiddens, which we do know the higher end.
Yeah, they are higher end.
Yeah, they have broadcast their price all over online. And so obviously it is determining the price as far as who's purchasing at what deal level. So that's why we don't usually go into extreme detail. So you can Google it and get a roundabout idea. Yep. These are higher end, which makes the second higher end whiskey video that we've done and letting people know. Again, thank you to Savannah and the sales team for letting us do this sampling of these two fine bourbons.
Yeah, really appreciate it. So where do we want to start off first? We want to do single barrel or small batch?
Let's do small batch first.
Small batch, yeah. Okay.
And so this one's 95.2 proof.
Yep.
And again, it's a blend or marriage, if you want to call it that, from 5-year bourbons. And she used the same mash at Castle and Key and then duplicated that same thing at Bardstown Bourbon Company.
Right. And so it is, and we have the mash bill here. So it is 75%. And this was what I think is interesting. I think we both thought this was interesting. Sorry, uncut, unfiltered.
Uncut, unfiltered.
White corn. So that to me is pretty neat.
And she talked about in one of the articles, she's using that because it's less expensive.
Right.
So cost efficient. And then what I thought was interesting, you said white corn. She uses white wheat.
Yes, and that I mean it's pretty interesting. And then the other one is a little bit on not a little higher on the malted barley side. So it is 13%.
Yeah, so higher percentage than expected on the malted barley, but it goes pretty well. So again, cheers to you guys.
Cheers. Yep. Like and subscribe, guys. Everything helps this page out, and also give us some comments. We love to have the comments. We'd like to know what your thoughts are. Have you tried it? If you have, let us know what you think.
And one of the things that we're not going to talk about, but it is something to bring up and banter talk about.
Yep.
Especially in the comments, is once you purchased it, knowing that this is higher end, would you repurchase it, knowing that it's higher end as far as the price tag? Because that does change the game a little bit when you're coming into the game with more expense than most bourbons that you can buy. So
definitely. I mean, we'd love to know that. And honestly, it's one of those. Is it a one and done for you? Or is this something just like Justin was saying? Would you buy it over and over again? That would be great to know.
Yeah. And so on the nose, which we were talking about this right before we did. This one we're not doing, as far as first time fresh crack. We were letting these breathe just to make sure, off camera. And then we just tried a small sip of them. So we did determine that the nose is almost not there. It's very light.
It's a very light nose. Great color to it though.
Yeah, it does have a good color. I will give it that. And presentation on the bottle. Yeah. If we were ranking again, we were doing our stave char level or char stave rankings. I like the bottle.
Yeah. And what's cool is, I believe I don't know if it was on their website or we saw it online.
I'll show you real quick. This is super cool.
This is pretty neat here.
So if you take the bottle and then do an exact looking down, so if I was going to take it in the camera, if you look at it exactly like this and put a light to the bottom and look straight above. So if you take out your phone light real quick.
Yep, get your flash.
And then do this, so it lights up, but then you look at the top of it. It's like a starburst on fire. Yeah. It's really cool.
It's pretty neat. And that was, can't remember what we saw it online. That's pretty neat to do. If you have this bottle, if you decide to get it, definitely try it out. I mean, it's just neat. We thought it was interesting.
I mean, go to the store that's got it.
Yeah. Or do it at the store.
Do it at the store. Take the flashlight and look over. It's a really cool, it reminds me of a Norland glass. Yeah. The black one. Yeah. When it looks like the whiskey's on fire. Yep. Yeah. So really cool as far as that. So again, if we were ranking the bottle, it's going to be very high up on the char list as far as the stave goes on our system of ranking. Yep. But so let's go back to the whiskey here.
Indeed. Cheers. Like and subscribe, guys, and let us know what's in your glass.
So it's definitely, I mean, it's just easy to say. It's light.
It's very light.
Very light, very easy, very drinkable, very crushable, very approachable.
Yes. I mean, honestly, if this is something, if you have anybody in your family or friends that have never, they think whiskey is a little harsh or whatnot, kind of a little spicy or ethanol-y or whatever, alcohol-y, whatever, however you want to say it, let them try this.
Yeah, exactly. And, even though we know this is a weeder, if you put this in a lineup and blinded somebody on it, it might be hard for them to determine that this is a weeder, even though it is very soft and easy and very crushable. Yeah. I mean, that I can't say enough about this. Is just it's almost like an intro or a beginning. Like I wouldn't say this is overly complex, and some people might not like the fact that it doesn't have a whole lot going on, but it's extremely drinkable.
It is, and for 95.2, it does not drink like a 95.
No, I'm going to go with neither one of these drink their proof.
No, not at all. I mean, this is almost like what 86 or lower, to be honest with you.
I mean that almost, like you said, 80. That almost drinks like an 80 proof, like an old school 80 proof. Mm-hmm. And then this one, when we get to the single barrel, talking about that one, this particular one's 116 proof. It drinks nothing like 116 proof.
I mean, and just because we've already tried these before, I would say it drinks very, very close to what this is.
Yeah, it's almost like 116, but it drinks the 95.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they had that plan. Yeah. So. No. Again, go on the different sites and do your research, get your information as far as that goes. And keep in mind, Castle and Key and Bardstown Bourbon Company, these say on the bottle, born and bred in Kentucky, or in Bardstown. Born and bred in Bardstown, which that's Bardstown Bourbon Company is what they're referring to. And then so clearly the mash that she duplicated, which it did say on one of the sites. So she took the same original mash from 5 years ago at Castle and Key and did the exact same thing. Even used the same yeast strain. Yeah. And so that's called duplication, if I can ever call it duplication. I mean, that's an ideal situation, is you get the exact yeast strain. So it's like, okay, we're going to use your equipment here and there. That's the same thing. That's like, okay, we've all been to Kentucky at this point. We've seen Jim Beam in multiple sites. Well, this is kind of like the idea. It's like using the same mash and yeast strain, just different facilities with their equipment.
Just being able to replicate it over and over again.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. And again, it's up to you and to determine whether or not it's worth the money to buy, because we know it's higher end. But I can tell you right now, the liquid is very drinkable.
Oh, it's very drinkable. It's very approachable. That's what I would say. I mean, to me, it's very approachable. If you are just first time getting into bourbon or whiskeys or anything else like this, this is one that if it's within your price range, it's one that's very approachable. Now, are you looking for more complexity or not? That's all going to be in your taste.
Right. Yeah. And I will say, it doesn't hit anywhere specifically in the complexity as far as on the palate. So as far as like the nose didn't have much because it was really light, the taste first, second, and third sip, very light.
Yeah.
So, but I'm not getting a bunch of this, that, or the other as far as like where it's hitting. It's not getting any chest cavity. It's not getting this part of the palate, the forward, the middle, the tip of the tongue. Really not much. It is just a very easy drinking.
Yes.
Very approachable. I can't get past how approachable that is. You could give this to a brand new person that's never had it. And I was like, oh, my dad drank it all these days, and I can't drink that. It's too harsh. Try this one. Yeah. I mean,
I think this is an easy way of getting somebody to get to try a bourbon, and actually, somebody's just like you were saying, oh, I can't drink that, it's too harsh. Let them try this.
Yeah, exactly. Let them try this, see what they think. And then, now there is a couple of sites that we looked at and, in trying to learn a little bit more, because it is a fairly new, I think it was launched in 2023 and we're just in the beginning of 2024. And so, Marianne Eves did a good job with this, but there is a couple of sites that talk about, it being a 5-year and Castle and Key being the same.
Right.
Well, she did make it there.
Yeah.
If it was the same, why is it called Forbidden?
Right.
And not Castle and Key?
Yeah.
That's like saying that Buffalo Trace producing 10 different brands of BT1 are the same.
Right.
That's not the way that works.
Nope.
I get what they're saying, that, oh, you can just go get this at this price tag. Well, then that would be no reason for anybody to want George T. Stagg.
Right.
You could just get Taylor Barrel Proof for less money.
Right.
Or you could get Stagg Jr., which is now Stagg, for less dollars.
Right. No.
It's just because it's the exact same mash.
We all know that the rick house and the barrels make a big difference. Where it is, how high, how low,
location.
Exactly. And we all know that, and that's why this one, forbidden.
So I completely would disagree 100% with that comment of you could just go get this for less. No, it would be called that if that's what it is. Just because it uses the same mash, I think we just defunct that right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Heaven Hill produces several different brands.
Yes, they do.
That's like, okay, now let's get on Heaven Hill for a moment.
Yeah.
All right, so why are we drinking Heaven Hill and not Elijah Craig? I'm saving money. It's the same thing. No.
Nope. If
it was 12 years or 8 to 12 or whatever batch in this barrels and so forth, then it would be called that.
Yep. Just
because they use the same mash doesn't. So again, I don't remember which one that was, and it doesn't really matter.
Right.
I disagree wholeheartedly with that being, oh, it's just Castle and Key, or oh, it's the same that Bardstown's producing somewhere else. Like, no, it's forbidden.
Yeah.
It's not Castle and Key.
No.
And it's not Bardstown Bourbon Company. It's forbidden. Done specifically to the exact liking and exact science that Marianne Eves wanted. And so I think she did a good job with
I think
it.
so too.
But I wish it was less expensive, because it's enough to where I would get another bottle of it.
Yeah.
But it's going to be one of those. I might go around looking specifically once we get to that one of the single barrel though.
Yeah. Well, and what I like about it, I think we hit it right there, is it's a weeded, but I think if you were to put this in a lineup, like you're saying, with other weededs, I don't think anybody would say this is a weeded bourbon.
I think it would, because of how different it is from the white wheat, the white corn, it would make it difficult to tell. I honestly do think that.
I think so
But
too.
I would really like what I saw, air quotations, the wheaters, or what I used to call wheat heads. I would really like to see a couple of the wheaters like, oh, I just love the wheat over anything.
Yeah.
I would like to see their honest thoughts of this if it was a wheat to them. And, some of the big wheaters that I know are a lot of Weller fans.
Yes.
Because that's a very famous one, obviously. Larceny's a very famous one.
Mm-hmm.
So the old Fitzgerald line, things like that.
Right.
But I would like to know what their thoughts are on this, as far as like, oh, welcome to the club of the wheaters.
And if you decide to do it, put it in the comments. If you have one of these and you want to try another weeded, and just tell us what you think. Really would like to see that. In the comments, like, subscribe, guys, and I think, what is it time for?
It is time for this particular single barrel, which actually has the barrel number on it.
Yes, it
and
does.
It's such a big number, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
But I can say if we liked it enough, we now at least could write the number down to go look for more of this particular barrel.
And so what we did find is the proof on this one from the single barrel that they had on their website is off. Yeah. This one's actually a higher proof.
Which makes me also excited that we can now look for different proofs.
Yes.
Just like the James E. Pepper batch proof, each one's going to be different from the batch. When I found as each batch number that they put out there is a different proof. So I'm excited about that, because that means each single barrel potentially could be a different proof.
Exactly. And it looks like...
Or at least close.
Yeah. And what I'm curious about is, with it being, because, we've had some of the Stags now, our Stag Juniors, those barrel proofs and everything else like that, usually a lot higher curious to how high these might get.
Yeah, but you know, with it being weeded,
with it weeded. Yeah.
with it being weeded, depending on the location on the rick house and things like that, and where it's being aged, we all know that could, it's going to affect the actual proof that comes off, which is fine. But it also has to do with the entry proof, which we didn't look up.
No, we did
what
not.
the entry proof was. We do know that she uses a different fermentation temperature,
Yes.
which is a little bit more labor intensive, and it causes a different process for what she's again looking for in the science behind Forbidden.
Yeah, which is cool. I mean, it was cool to read about all that, and that's what we like to do. We're going to try to give you factual information, and it's just now out in our area of the woods and everything, which I like.
Which is what this video is for, is letting everybody know in our market, hey, this is now available. We aren't just hearing about it and seeing it on social media or her putting it out,
Right.
letting you know that's in Kentucky or Tennessee. We need to run up there to grab it. This is actually in Georgia, in Evans.
Yeah.
Bourbon Banter Evans.
Yep.
And again, thank you guys for tuning in. What's in your glass, of course, and Forbidden to us.
Let's try this one.
So now having had that and this one has more of a nose.
It
to
does. It does.
And so originally we were like, doesn't have much on the nose either because they're very light and approachable. But this one you get a little bit more of the actual components to the whiskey and a little bit more ethanol actually.
Yeah, I am. At first, when we first tried it off camera before we even started, it was almost like there was nothing there. But now you actually are getting that on the nose. Can't really tell. I want to say it's more of the, maybe a little bit more of the barley. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it's tough to say what this one, because it is. We're now trying to figure out how extremely light this is to get the nose on it, which is again, you would never know this was 116
No.
proof.
It's drinking.
This is bringing out more flavor though.
It is,
yeah.
but it's drinking more like a 90.
It really is.
And for it to be 116, that's impressive right there.
Yeah.
But it's drinking like a 90. I am getting more flavors, but the one thing I will say is you're going to get the flavors boom, and then the finish is it's smooth. I mean, it's just gone.
So this I can say, and I'm pretty sure Charles will agree with me on this because we've talked about this before in other videos. Just because it has an age and we know what the age is, age doesn't dictate quality.
No.
Never has.
No.
And so another part that we read was them kind of shredding a little bit for the price tag because it's being a 5-year. Well, again, age doesn't dictate quality.
No.
If you're going to say, oh, I'm a big barrel proof person, I'm looking for this, and you're willing to pay on some of these other sites up to $400, then who's to say that this price tag is wrong?
Right.
And so I look at it as, this is a different process. It's a different mash. It's different altogether because she came up with this whole idea, the fermentation process, completely different. So why is this not worth trying to see what different and new is?
Right.
And who's to say that different and new doesn't have a different and new price tag?
Exactly.
And so now knowing that, thinking about it, it kind of, and the really cool bottle, kind of makes me wonder in my head that it might be priced appropriately because of the process.
Well, it could be the process, and we really don't know what's going into it. I mean, to be honest with you, how labor intensive from the readings that we did, it sounds like it's pretty labor intensive.
Yeah, and then you're thinking it's just fermentation. Well, that doesn't mean that you have to. Maybe you have to constantly watch it.
Yep.
Maybe you have to be on top of it because you could, if at a different temperature, something could change. The way the interaction between the breakdown and the chemicals. But that's what your master distiller is going to be doing and checking those things. So.
Yep. I will tell you this though, if I was going to spend the money for either one of these, I would probably lean towards the single barrel if it was available.
And now having had them side by side, I'm going all in on the single barrel because it does bring more to the table.
It does.
But if I want to put something in a blind to mess with somebody, I'm doing this one.
Yep.
Because it's so delicate, it'd be interesting to see the reaction.
That is the word right there. Delicate.
Yeah.
You hit it right on the head with that.
Yeah.
And sitting there trying to figure out how to say this, it's very delicate. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And again, the single barrel with the higher proof brings a different.
It does. It's
something else to the table.
It's getting you a little bit more complexity than what this small batch is. To me, that's how I would put it.
I would probably say that. And this makes me want to go find other single barrels to see what the proof is. And check the barrel number because, again, back to that, it has the barrel number right there on the neck.
Yep.
So if you find one that you really like, you can write that down and go look for that same thing on the neck because they put that on there, which makes me wonder, Is there going to be a barrel program maybe one day?
Yeah, I know. That would be nice.
That would be interesting. It'd be a really high-end barrel program.
Yeah.
But again, if we're going to be talking about you're willing to spend $200 for a single barrel of insert whatever product here because of the nostalgia or the, feng shui.
Yeah.
That's a terrible way. Just the buzz behind a certain brand. Then why can't you do that for something like this?
Exactly.
You now have the buzz behind a master distiller, Kentucky's first female master distiller, that is now done specific fermentation and a color, like pretty much a custom mash is what I would call this. Like she's got her own mash going on, and it turned out pretty good.
No, it's not bad at all.
Yeah.
It's not bad at all. But honestly, what we're gonna say, or what I would like to say, is you know what you have in your wallet, you know what you're willing to spend, and that's exactly what you are going to have to decide when it comes to these.
I agree with that 100%, wholeheartedly.
Yep.
Again, same adjective I used moments ago. What I did just think of in my head, which is really hard to think somewhere else. Uncut, unfiltered.
Yes,
there
indeed.
I go again.
Yep.
It's the bourbon socks.
I'm
back at it.
Yeah.
So what I just thought of right here on the spot is that the line that I disagreed with as far as it being Castle and Key and them saying, if you don't know if you like it, go try this first.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. If you don't know if you're going to like it, go try a bar first.
Yeah.
Try it by the ounce.
Exactly. And I'm sure
it's different.
Yeah, and it will, in our area, I'm sure there will be a bar where you can try this.
Yeah, and that makes sense. This right here should be at bourbon bars.
Yeah.
Because hey, you got the new Forbidden. Let's try it.
Yep. And give it a try there. If you don't think it's in your price range, go to a bourbon bar or a bar, whatever bar that has a bourbon menu or whatever else. If they have it, give it a try.
Yeah, I can definitely say this. If I was a bar owner in this area, especially if I wanted to have different whiskeys or different bourbons and things of that nature, there is no doubt that I would have that.
No, I'm looking at sorry. I went off. I uncut, unfiltered. I was looking at the
It messes with
the
you.
bottles. Yeah.
It messes with you.
Yeah. Because I was sitting there going, hold on. They look like the bottle looks like it's different, but I don't believe it is.
What's really cool is looking at it from this angle, and it looks like it's curving going down into the glass like that.
Uncut, unfiltered. Sorry, guys. That just caught my eye, and I was trying to figure it out because I thought it might be something we could put on the video, but it's just me being me.
Once you get the bottle and you start looking at it, it's gonna mess with you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a different bottle.
Again,
so sorry.
If I was if I was a bar owner and had bourbons on the menu, I would definitely have at least minimal the single barrel.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
If not both, because first off, I'm a bourbon person, and then I'm a bourbon bar owner. That's got to come into my bar because, if you're interested in some of the history and some of the, behind the scenes, some of the people that are important in the bourbon world and things like that, how can you not want to try and or support Marianne Eaves? I mean, I follow her on social media.
Yeah.
She's got really cool things to say, really cool insight, all this other stuff. Like, how can you not want to pull for her in her story and things that she's done from Castle and Key, bringing back the old Taylor distillery, from learning at Brown-Forman? How many people is Brown-Forman going to keep producing for these other companies?
Exactly.
Everybody seems to be from Brown-Forman.
And I'll tell you what, she makes a good product. It is a good product. I'm impressed by it. I think it is very good.
Is it going to knock your socks off? That's up to you to determine.
Right.
Is it going to knock your socks off with how easy it is? Probably.
Yeah.
It's very easy.
That's the thing. This one right here, I mean, literally, I think it's one of the few bourbons that I could sit there and turn the bottle up and not have a problem with it.
That's a 25-ounce beer, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's forbidden.
Yeah, exactly.
You like to play on?
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
You can't do that. It's forbidden.
Like and subscribe, guys.
Yeah.
Well, Justin, what else?
Hey, thank you again to Savannah and the samples. Again, Savannah is the distributor. Thank you for letting us do this video of your product. If anybody else is interested, we would love to do the same thing. And the big key to this is talking, bantering about bourbon, and letting you know what's in the market.
Yep.
And so we are not going to review this one.
Nope.
Because we already did the review of the glass, and I think that's cool enough. And we've talked enough about the whiskey and how good it actually is. It's up to you to determine if you want to follow Marianne Eaves and support her product and try it. And it's up to you whether you spend the money again. Again, we know it's higher end.
Yep.
There's nobody going to say that it's not higher end.
No, it's definitely higher end.
Yeah. So again, this is available now. Look for it on shelves. Look for it at the bar. Try it. It's worth a try. Not saying that you're going to love it or hate it. That's for you to determine. We like it.
We like it. We would try it. Try it and honestly, I'm glad we were given this opportunity. Is one that I would definitely suggest for you to try.
Yeah, so again, thanks for tuning in. What's in your glass? Hope it was a good one. Cheers.